Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea here. So today I'm very excited because I'm finally going to bring you all my review and a tutorial of the ColourPop Sweet Talk Palette. I also purchased two of the lipsticks and I did purchase one of the Jelly Much eyeshadows, but I lost it. So I'm going to have to reorder that and get you all another video some other time. But let's just get right into the video. So like I said before, we're going to be doing a review and a demonstration of this Sweet Talk palette. And if you haven't seen it so far, here is the outside packaging. And I'm hoping you can see that and my lights are not blaring you. I just got a new ring light, which I'm really excited about. Let me know if you feel that if the lighting is too bright, if it needs to be brighter. Leave all your comments down below so I can fine tune this. And here is the inside of the palette. I think it's a beautiful array of colors that really remind me of springtime. So you've got some matte colors in here. You've got a couple of shimmers. You have two pressed glitters that we see right here. And then you have one of their infamous eyeshadows, the Super Shock eyeshadows, which from what I heard, they've never been able to put it in a palette because it dries out too fast. So that's pretty exciting too. I'll do swatches of the palette after the tutorial, but here is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. And let's just get right into the demonstration. So first I'm going to prime my eyelids with the Luscious Angels eyeshadow primer. And I always use a primer because I have oily eyelids. And I noticed that my eyeshadow separates throughout the day. And so for me, this step is necessary. But if you don't have oily eyelids or you don't have, you know, a lot of red veins or redness on your eyelids, then this is not a step that you necessarily need to do. So we're going to start out with this shade called Work It, from Work It into the Crease. And I have used this eyeshadow palette now 3 times. So I do have a pretty good idea of how these eyeshadows work. I think the pigmentation is really good. And for instance, like this shade Work It, you can actually see it showing up on my skin. Whereas in other palettes, shades like this tend to not show up at all. Y'all, if you see any glitter on my face, guess what? I just spent the last 30 minutes filming this video, finished my eye look, and realized I was not recording. So we are doing take 2. Using before an M441 brush, now I'm using a BH Cosmetics B5 brush. And going in with this shade right here called Dream Maker, which I really like this color. It's a pretty soft pinky coral color that actually shows up on my skin tone. So I will admit, when this eyeshadow palette first came out, I wasn't going to get it because I didn't think the shades would really show up on me, because these light corals tend to not show up. But as you can see, there's great pigmentation with this palette, which makes me very happy. Putting that all into the crease, getting a nice gradient of color here. And alright, so now I'm going to go in using the same brush to the shade Meadow, and this color is just a deeper shade or a deeper form of the shade that we just applied. And now I'm just going to concentrate this into my crease, but I'm going to take it about halfway into my crease and keep it concentrated from halfway in toward the outer area, because I want to keep the inner corner nice and bright. There is a little bit of kick up in the pan from these shadows, but in terms of the matte colors, there isn't any fallout on the face. Now I'm going to go in with an AOA Studio brush. This is their E128 brush. And I'm going to go in with this shade right here called ICMI, which stands for In Case You Missed It. I definitely needed to get someone to tell me what that was, because I was like, ICMI? Huh? And so I was watching another review and someone was like, In Case You Missed It. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Alright, so we're just going to pack that this color on the outer edge of the eye to add some dimension and some depth. I've used every shade in the palette except for this shade right here, which I'm not going to use today. But so far, every shade that I've used, every other shade has been really nice and pigmented. There is one shade that I don't like, and it is the Super Shock Shadow. So it's this shade right here called Side to Side. And I don't know if I just don't know how to apply it. I've applied it with my finger because it feels like a putty almost. There's a putty texture. I've never owned another Super Shock Shadow, so I'm wondering if I'm just not applying the eyeshadow correctly. I use my finger. I've used I use it with a flat shader brush. I've sprayed it with Fix Plus, MAC Fix Plus, and I don't know. I felt like the eye look that I did before when I thought I was recording, but I wasn't recording. I actually used that down. Used it on top of my eyeshadows. I laid down my base of mattes, and then I went in with a glitter glue, added the Super Shock Shadow on top, and I felt like it was picking up the eyeshadow underneath. I don't know, I don't know. So like I said, if there's a better way to apply that shade, someone leave it down in the comments below, because it's a really pretty color, and I imagine it's pretty sheer. So when I first used it, I used it as a topper to a shimmer, and I just used just a little bit. So maybe I just only need to use a little bit. I don't know. Just let me know down below if there's a better way to use that eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the NYX glitter glue. I'm using this because, like I mentioned earlier, my eyelids are creasy. They crease because they're oily. There we go. And also, I noticed that as the day goes on, eyeshadow will kind of accumulate in the creases of my eyelid. So I saw a recommendation from Seeking Alexandria, and she was like, I always use the NYX glitter glue because it helps my shadow stay longer and stay where I put it. And I was like, a great recommendation. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my flat shader brush. Went in with, I think this is my favorite color in the palette. This is the shade Garden Date. And I love this shade because it's just so pretty. And it's got this pretty shift of gold and pink. I'm gonna go with another brush because I'm not liking that. Yeah, so it has this shift of like gold, pink, peach-ish. I think this would be a pretty color to use by itself if you're going for like a quick eyeshadow look, but you want, something on your lid. And I'm just pulling up my eyelid to make sure that none of the color doesn't get all within my lid. I don't want any of this color to settle in the creases of my eye. Not this early. So pretty. So pretty. You could leave the look like this, but I am not. Gonna add a little bit more glitter glue because I want to add a glitter on top. And then I'm going to take my finger and we're going to go into this shade called Prima Drama. Cute little name. And we're going to pack that right onto the lid. Now this is pure glitter, so you will get some fallout, which is why I decided to do my eyes first, so we didn't have to worry about it. And now I'm really glad that I did do my eyes first, because I would have been pissed if I did my whole face and then realized none of that recorded. The cool thing now is where I'm sitting at, I have my mirror behind it, so now I could just look and go, am I recording? Yes, I am. Oh man, I tell ya. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of Garden Date and just kind of pack it over the glitter to kind of mix the two shades together. I go back in with the shade ICYMI. And I'm going to add that shade on the outer area just to make sure we didn't lose any pigmentation from there. And then I'm going to go back in with the shade Green Maker just a bit and blend out excuse me, the outer edge here. I'm going to go into the shade Catch Me, which is right here, and I really love this color as a brow bone highlight. I think it works really well as a brow bone highlight for my complexion. To finish up the top lid, I'm going to go in with the shade Melody, and I'm going to use that as my inner corner color. And I really, really like this shade. It's a soft gold shade that I think has great pigmentation for the color that it is. I think it's meant to be a softer gold color, but it shows up really well on my face, which once again, sometimes gold colors can get lost in my complexion. So this palette, if you haven't already guessed it, I think is a win. I definitely think it's worth the money if you've been interested in it and you were wondering, should you get it? I don't think you'd be disappointed. I'm now going to go in with the shade Feel Free, and I'm going to use that as a liner. So I have this thin Morphe M356 brush, and I'm just going to take the tip of it and yeah, create a nice definition to my eye. I'm going to finish putting the makeup on my face, and then when we come back we will do the lower lash line and we'll apply a lip color. Okay, so I've got my makeup on, so let's just finish up the lower lash line and apply this some lip colors and swatches, and we'll be done. So I'm going to go in with the shade Work It, and I'm pretty much going to use all of the matte shades on my lower lash line. I'm going to go back in with the shade Dream Maker here and just apply that. I'm going to go in with the shade Meadow, and I'm actually going to take that all the way to the inner corner. So I know on the upper lash line we kept that about halfway to through the eyelid, the middle of the eye. But I want to bring that all the way to the inner corner. I want to use the shade ICYMI, and I'll keep that toward the outer V area. Yeah, there we go. So let me apply some lower lash mascara. I'm using the L'Oreal Unlimited Mascara. Then to finish off the inner corner highlight, I'm taking that shade Meadow again and just gonna concentrate it more for the inner corner and drag it just slightly on the lower lash line like so. Okay, and that is the eye look. So let's do some swatches real quick. Okay, so here are the swatches of the shades, and I'm hoping that you can see them without my light shining too bright on them. And sorry that my swatches are not pretty. I don't do the best swatches, but those are the shades. I think they are so pretty. Like I said before, I really, 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 really love this eyeshadow palette. It'll be one that I could see myself picking up time and time again because, like I said, the pigmentation is there most of the time. Like I mentioned before, coral, light colors like that typically just kind of fade into my skin. I think they're gorgeous colors, but I typically just haven't found any that really work well. So I'm so happy with this eyeshadow palette and happy that the colors show up. Now let's get into the two lipsticks that I purchased. So I got Spring Roll and You're Thriving. I've worn You're Thriving, I want to say 3 times now, and it's the shade that I'm going to wear today. And it's just this beautiful, pretty, pinkish color. Pinkish, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not really good at describing colors. And then Spring Roll is more of a nude color that I think is perfect for just, you know, I just want to throw on a color and just want to add a little color to my lips. So it's got this nudie pink shift to it. So we're going to apply Spring Roll. I mean, you're Thrivin, and these are matte lipsticks, but I have a gloss down, so it's gonna look more shimmery. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I really enjoyed the products that I picked up from the Sweet Talk collection. Like I mentioned earlier, love the eyeshadow palette. It's a winner. The packaging is really pretty. The shade names are on the back. I don't know if I showed you that before, but I definitely recommend, out of the 3 products that I tried, pick up the eyeshadow palette. It's $18 and the Luxe lipsticks are $7. The formula is really nice, and like I think I mentioned before, these are matte lipsticks, but they're comfortable, so they're not, you know, drying on the lips. I have another ColourPop lipstick, Luxe lipstick, and it's very comfortable as well. So $7, definitely not going to be a waste of your money. And that's it. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye guys.